Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to my third video of my 5 favourite stories from each of my favourite Doctors. I'm going through all the Doctors, but in my favourite order. So I've already done Tom Baker and Sylvester McCoy. So now it's time to jump into my third favourite Doctor, played by Mr. Patrick Troughton. Now, Patrick Troughton is one of the longest Doctors I like to consider, because not only does he have his own era, he did pop out for 3 major stories. He did his own run from 1966 to 1969, then 1973 for the 3 Doctors, 1983 for the 5 Doctors, and then of course 1985 for the 2 Doctors. So I do consider him to be one of the longest Doctors after Tom Baker and Sylvester McCoy, because I do class Sylvester McCoy as a longer Doctor, because yes, he was off air, but he did return 9 years 9 years later? 8 or 9 years later to regenerate in the TV movie. Same with Paul McGann. So I do class a Doctor's lifespan really, really long for those Doctors. So the second Doctor, I have to say, I love his performance. Patrick Troughton is amazing. Now, in my top 5, I had to put something that has only just been released over a month ago, as you know. It probably Evil of the Daleks. So you know Evil of the Daleks is going to be on this list, because rewatching it, I absolutely love it. So I will tell you what place that is. Plus there are 5 honourable mentions. There are literally 5 fantastic honourable mentions in this list as well. So 5th place, I have to put this one in 5th place because it's one of the better stories in season 6. I really enjoy it. It is The Seeds of Death. So as you can tell, I've got the 2 DVD versions here, the special edition and the normal version. I really love Seeds of Death. The Ice Warriors are great. I love the fact they're invading Earth with the T-Mat system. I love the way the second Doctor has to use a rocket to get to the moon base. And then when you see him like literally running around, and then you see the Ice Warriors coming around going... and the Doctor just goes, "Oh my word!" And then you just run, and you just see that little fantastic Troughton thing where he's there, everyone in the face going like that, and then he actually runs. I really enjoyed the Seeds of Death. It's actually great. I do have it on VHS as well. I really do enjoy the Seeds of Death. It is a fantastic Ice Warrior story. It's the very first Ice Warrior story to feature the Ice Lords, which is actually one of the best Ice Warriors design. I really enjoyed that design. So in 4th place, this one's in 4th place because I love it. It's a Cyberman story. It's one of the best Cyberman stories. I have to put this in 4th place because I enjoy it a bit more than the other 2 Cyberman stories we have got in Troughton's era, and it is The Invasion. I love The Invasion. I do love Tomb and the Moon Base. They are in honourable mentions because I really wanted to... If this was going to be a top 10 list, then they'd be definitely in the top 10. But I had to do my 5 favourites and my 5 honourable mentions. I really enjoy this story because you have Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier in this story. This is the very first story to feature UNIT. And when you see that iconic scene when you got the Cybermen coming out of the sewers with that really creepy music going on, and then they're just marching out around the cathedral, around the streets of London, I flipping love it. It is just one of those good scenes. I really enjoy it. Episodes 1 and 4 are missing, but there have been... This was the very first Doctor Who story to be animated, so episodes 1 and 4 were animated for the very first time in 2006. So since 2006, the animation, we have had a load of animations coming out. I just love this story. I'm grateful for the animation. I really think this is a great Troughton story. I really love it. If I could find any Troughton story, I have to say I'll probably want The Wheel in Space, so I can have the whole Cybermen era complete of the 60s. So my 3rd favourite story of Troughton, I have to say this was my 3rd favourite because I seem to enjoy this one a lot more than other people do. It's great. It's one of the best stories for Troughton. I love it. It is The War Games. I'm in the middle of watching this at the moment, so I can do a review on it. So as you can tell, I've got The War Games here on DVD. I also own the box set Regeneration, which has got The War Games in there as well. I love The War Games because, 1, it introduces the Warlords. It introduces the Time Lords. We meet another Time Lord, aka the War Chief, who I think is like the character set up as the Master. I really enjoy Troughton's performance in that. It's 10 parts. It's literally a 10-part story, and it is just amazing. I love it. And when you see the Doctor turn the time, while you've been observing the evil in the galaxy, I have been fighting against it. Show me a thought pattern, and I'll show you. The Quarks, the Ice Warriors, Cybermen, the Daleks. All these evils I have fought against while you have done nothing but observe. We are not here on trial, Doctor. Well, you should be. I love the way Troughton does that. And then when you see him arguing, goes, oh, he's too old. Oh, that one's too young. Oh, that one's too fat. This is ridiculous. You're wasting time. Is this it? I've never seen such an incredible bunch. If you cannot make the decision, Doctor, the decision will be made for you. But I never said that. I love the way Troughton literally stands up to Time Lords. I would love to see William Hart. To be honest with you, if this was a William Hartnell story, I don't think it would have deserved a lot of appreciation for it. Because I think with Troughton gives that unique performance. And I do see a bit of Hartnell's Doctor in Troughton when he's literally tying the Time Lords off. I really do love that. I really do love that dynamic. So, switching into the honourable mentions, my 5 honourable mentions. So, my 5 honourable mentions, I have to say, in 5th place, it is The Enemy of the World, because I really enjoy this story. It is just phenomenal. I love it. And the fact that it was found way back in 2013 is just, in fact, one of the best stories I have ever seen. I love it. And I hope we get other missing stories found soon. Or if not found, hopefully we can get them animated. And then we can complete the whole of Troughton's era. I like the fact with the Doctor... I like the fact with the Doctor and Stanley Mando and they're literally there in the TARDIS going, so, you're going to kill me. And then when Stanley Mando accidentally presses the take-off button on the TARDIS, with the doors open, it gets flung into the time vortex. I really love that special effects I did. Number 4 in honourable mention. I had to put this one in honourable mention because I wanted to put this in the top 5, but I was trying to do this all the last 2 days. I've been doing this the whole of this list I've actually done for each of the Doctors, and when I was writing this list I had to put stories that I wanted in my top 5 and I had to change them to put them in honourable mentions because I was like, so many Doctor Who stories, you've got so many great stories in Troughton's run, even with the other Doctors, you just have to keep changing them, don't you? It's just a struggle when you're trying to say, oh no, I actually enjoyed that. No, I really enjoyed that story. This one I really wanted to put into my top 5, but is in the honourable mentions. If I was going to do a top 10, this will definitely be in the top 10. It is the Macra Terror. I love the Macra Terror. It was a missing story until it got animated. Now, the very first appearance I had of the Macra, the very first introduction to them, was in Gridlock in Series 3. And then when this was released, went back and watched this. I bought this on Blu-ray, and then I got given this by my mate Zach. Because my mate Zach give me this DVD of the Macra Terror, and I have to say, I love the Macra Terror. I really think it's claustrophobic. I really think it's great. And then when you see the big giant crabs, I just absolutely love it. 3rd honourable mention is The Web of Fear. I love this story. In fact, it's only had the special edition release with episode 3 animated. I really enjoy The Web of Fear. I think it's just a great one for the introduction to the Great Intelligence. This is the one story we have surviving of classic Doctor Who that has the Great Intelligence in it, because he did come back in the Matt Smith run in Series 7, so people are introduced to Great Intelligence that way, where classic Doctor Who fans was introduced to him during this story. And having the animated of episode 3, it's absolutely great. Thank you to the BBC for finally animating The Web of Fear episode 3. I would have loved if we could find the missing episode, but I can't now. 2nd honourable mention, I have to say, it is the Moon Base. Sorry, I was going to say Tomb. I love the Moon Base. It's a great Cyberman story. It's a really great story. I love the animation in it. The animation is amazing. I love the Cybermen. I love the fact you have Jamie going, the Pied Piper, like that. I really enjoy that story. I wanted it again, as I said. It was in my top 5, but I've had to change it because we've got some new releases and other stuff, and my opinion just keep changing, and I really enjoyed these stories. So it's in my honourable mentions. If I was going to do a top 10, it will be in the top 10. Again, and my honourable mention number 1, this was the very first story I ever watched of Troughton, and it is The Tomb of the Cybermen, the first story from season 5. It is great. I love the whole setting on Teros. I love the cyber controller. I love the fact that you have you have idiotic, idiot human beings literally looking for the last remains of the Cybermen, break into the tomb, and then they accidentally awake every single version of the Cybermen that's in the tombs. You have that iconic scene when you got them in the tombs and literally like that, popping their hands out, and then they're stretching and they're coming out, and then you have that really great music in the background, that dun 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 dun. I can't think of it. I really enjoy that. I really love the music for Tomb of Cybermen that's in it. So now into my two favourite stories of the Patrick Troughton era. Now these two have been animated again. I had this one. These two did change quite a lot when I was writing this list because I really love these both stories. And so in second place, it is The Evil of the Daleks, the introduction story to the Dalek Emperor. It was only animated, it was literally released a month ago. So for a story that was released a month ago, and to make it into my top 2 5 Doctor stories, no, 2 second Doctor stories, sorry, not 5, to make it into the top second Doctor story, it's absolutely amazing. The animation sets it up, and the way they actually done it with Victoria's dress, because Victoria does wear that Victorian dress in the beginning of Tomb of the Cybermen, so it does lead into Tomb of the Cybermen. I absolutely love the story. Introduction to the Dalek Emperor. Jamie has a great run. You have the Doctor messing around with 3 Daleks, because he's literally created them, putting the human factor in. The Emperor just goes, "We want you to put the Dalek factor into all the humans." And I love the fact in episode 2 when this has the original surviving episode 2 in it. So when you see that Dalek just coming through going dark, and you have to go, "Now do you understand?" "Yes, very much so. Yes, yes." I really love the animation of the story because I think they get Troughton's mannerisms correct, and it is just phenomenal and amazing. I really enjoy The Evil of the Daleks. It's just a great story, and in fact it's in my second place after it was only released a month ago. What does that have to tell you? What does that have to tell you? I love Evil of the Daleks. So my all-time favourite story for Patrick Troughton, I had to put this one in number 1 because I absolutely love it. I keep going back to rewatch this one so many times, even on the Blu-rays and the 2 DVD versions of this. It is Doctor Who: The Power of the Daleks. I love the special edition because the special edition has no mistakes in it, where the 2016 version does. So I really love both of these versions. I absolutely in love with, if I just show you quickly, with the Blu-ray steelbook, because we finally get it in colour, and it's the only way that you can actually get the episodes in colour on here in that steelbook. So that's the only way for you to actually sit down and watch the coloured episodes of Power of the Daleks. Power of the Daleks I absolutely love. The one thing about it is that we don't really... Troughton's wearing his clothes that he just puts a jacket on, where I think in the actual episode he wears a bit of Hartnell's costume, and then I think he changed it. I'm not too sure, unless he regenerates in the costume, so I'm not really too sure about that. I love Power of the Daleks. I love the fact the Doctor's there, like, getting straight into it. It's like a Matt Smith episode, like when you get the 11th hour for Matt Smith and the Doctor just doesn't have no regeneration amnesia, no stuff going on. It just gets straight into it. Troughton is great. This is the story I've really loved, because it's not the Doctor like being in bed like in Tennant's story. It's not him trying to work out who he is. Even though you do have that little bit with the mirror, the Doctor just gets straight into it. He literally just goes like boom, straight into it. He's on the planet Vulcan. You have the human examiner being shot. You have him investigating, then you find the Daleks, Lesterson, and then Lesterson finds the whole lot of the Daleks, and the Doctor's there trying to warn them. They are Daleks. You cannot trust them. "Oh, yes we will, yes we will." And then you have these evil people that want to use the Daleks for themselves. "We will arm the Daleks and turn them for ourselves." And the Daleks go and turn on them. And the Doctor has to and the Doctor reverts all the power in the human carnate on Vulcan, and the Daleks just explode. I really love the way Troughton does that. He just messes about with he literally just goes, "I'm just going to mess about with the power," and the Daleks just go boom. I really love Power of the Daleks. It's just a great story. There will be a review coming out for Power of the Daleks soon, and a proper review of Evil of the Daleks, because I love them. If I was going to say out of the 60s, what's my favourite Dalek story so far, it might probably be Power and Evil, followed by the Dalek Invasion of Earth, then the chase, and then the Daleks, until we get the animation of the Daleks master plan. I have got it on CD. It is a great Dalek story, but it's not the same. Listening to it isn't really the same as watching it and seeing how good it is. I'm hoping we'll get that animated soon. So that is my top 5 and 5 honourable mentions of the Patrick Troughton stories from his era. What do you think of Patrick Troughton? Do you have him in your top 5 Doctors? Is he in your list of favourites? And also join me tomorrow where I talk about my favourite stories from my 4th favourite Doctor, played by John Pertwee. So tomorrow I'll be talking about my 5 favourite stories from John Pertwee with 5 honourable mentions. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe and share. And have a great 2 day.